All right, very excited to show this off. This is my completed Alpha Fighter model. It comes from the GoBots Leader-1 model kit version released in the States in the mid-'80s. So taking a look at it, I went with a nice red color scheme. I had a lot of, had a lot of red paint left over from doing the Cyclone, and I found a good place to use it. You can see he's a pretty good looking Alpha Fighter. Very sleek looking. I don't know if that comes across exactly, but I mean, you know, it's one thing I've always loved about this design. There really isn't much, you know, kibble on the bottom that really breaks the lines of the jet. The wings are a little stubby, but still, the profile is very, very aerodynamic. Really cool looking. Die cast in all the landing gear. The little tire is rubber, so that's a really nice detail. And all the pieces, everything is held up really well over the 20 some odd years that this thing's been sitting in a box. I didn't really have any problems. The decal sheets even were cooperative, and I only lost a couple, and really it was my own fault. The canopy here, now it's not designed to be removable, but it's got this little guy that you're supposed to glue into place. You can see he's a little Cyclone rider. I painted him up in the Lancer colors. Yeah, I got to take care of that little blue smudge, but anyway, I think he looks pretty good. And he sits in here, and then there's a control stick. But this all has to be glued together. And I wanted to at least show the cockpit area, you know, in some detail, because it's really amazing how much they molded. It's not necessarily going to come across on this. One thing you can see is that little clear heads-up display, which is a really nice touch. And you know, there's all kinds of buttons and switches and levers and all kinds of things that you'd see them operating in the anime. But yeah, I really like that heads-up display. The other thing that's detachable, here's his gun. Just the classic, I think they call it the GU-XX gun pod. This little tab that fits into a slot on the back of the missile pod. That way you can have it there during plane mode, take it off, and then there's another clip that you can put on for, it's like a banana clip for robot mode. On this missile pod, and I don't know how well this is going to work, I may have to get tweezers, but two of these missiles are actually removable. They don't fire, they don't do anything exciting except disappear, but you can see that. Just a tiny little cylinder, little you know, dot on the back, I guess is a thruster. Anyway, I don't know, but it allows you to remove these missiles. For what purpose you'd want to do that, I don't know. Let me set that aside. Speaking of missiles, it's got these missile pods that flip open. Pretty cool. Flip those closed. One thing that sucks, though, is that on mine, I'm missing this piece for this side. Look through all the sprues, and it's just not there. I see the spot for it, but mine is missing. So it looks like a manufacturing error that happened, you know, 27 years ago or whatever. I'll probably have to craft something to kind of fill that in, because it does bother me. It's just a hole, you know. They do have, I don't know if you can really tell, but there are silver vent pieces in here. Physically. So that's our look at the plane mode. So the legs pull out, and this is not any different than any other version of this design's transformation. They all kind of have these same design cues. It's very consistent. Fold these around like so, and then of course the feet flip out the heel. Like that. this out. Okay, there's a couple of pretty good looking legs. I'm sure you can kind of see where we're headed here. It's not the, doesn't have the best Gerwalk mode, but it's it gets the job done. It's got these two independent panels. So growing up, I built a lot of models, and airplane models were always some of my favorites. So I really have an appreciation for good landing gear, because not all models do that effectively. Okay, fold those down, and then these flip in. Like so. This little piece opens up like that, revealing the fist assembly, which you kind of gently pull into place. He does come with interchangeable hands, which again I'll show off in the robot mode. And there's not even a fist on this side, so you'll have to take my word for it. But you can see how the transformation works there. So we'll get that sorted by the time we get to robot mode. But yeah, so there we go. There's basically his Gerwalk mode. Flip out his sensor eye. See, not too bad. Not too bad. Not the best, but it's okay. So, finish this up to robot mode. Okay. Now, this folds back like this. Fold in these side wings to kind of tuck it all together. And the head has a little rotation, so it, well, no, not a rotation, I'm sorry, it's on a little arm. Whoops, and fold these. Sorry, I'm just getting all in the way. Fold these nacelles down. Make sure his backpack's in the right place. Extend that. Alrighty. Oops, and then these panels actually fold in to better define the back, like so. And there you go. He's in robot mode. So that's the transformation. And we'll take a look at some of the details of the robot mode, but hopefully that gives you some idea of how it works. So as a transforming robot, like all designs, he's got strengths and he's got weaknesses. Some of them come from the actual mold that they use, some of them come from the overall design. So in terms of design elements, I've always loved this mecha. It's really cool. It's a really good way to make a plane transform into a robot. Because of the nature of its futuristic jet design, any kibble that there is, like the jet intake boobies, it just feels natural. It doesn't feel like, oh, I've unfolded a jet. It really feels like, hey, this is a cool looking robot, it's a cool looking jet, and they kind of go together. He's a pretty good size. Let me compare him to, here's Alternator Hound. Scale size, here's his pilot, which he's in a sitting posture, but it still gives you some kind of an idea for how big the mecha would be compared to a normal human. So there's a nice little scale reference. He does come with a set of fists. Of course, he's got two normal clenched fists, which are okay. They kind of look very plain from the top. So, and then he's got his gun holding hand. And I don't know, I just like those kind of dynamic sculpts. If you can't have articulation, at least you can make it look cool. But yeah, so this one's to hold his gun, and he does a decent job of it. I need to tighten up this this connection here because it slowly droops over time. Eventually pops down. But yeah, so he holds his gun, looks cool doing it, and then he's got his dynamic hand. In terms of articulation, the head doesn't turn because of the way that it has this little arm thing that it's built on. But other than that, he's actually pretty well articulated. Keep in mind he's a model, so I got to go easy on him. But these arms do rotate at that joint. It has an outward rotation. There's actually, I don't know if you can see it, but there's like a piece and then a block and then a piece. Both of these turn. So it's only one functional joint. I don't know why you would want to turn it in both places, but you can. Either way, what it accomplishes is that you can turn his arm. So he does have some elbow articulation. Then of course he swivels. And then the hands, because they just plug on, you can turn, whichever direction you want. Doesn't matter. But let's see, no waist swivel. But he does have hips, that go up and down. They do turn outwards because of the transformation. And then he's got a knee joint that is very, very finicky. Whoop, did his hand just fall off? His hand did fall off. It's very finicky, and as you can see, there's not a lot of tolerance, so it really doesn't turn that much at all. But he holds very upright. And then his feet have all kinds of articulation that basically allows you to, close them or open them so that way you can stand at different postures. Let me fix his hand here. That's pretty much it. He doesn't really have any gimmicks. I mean, he transforms. That's his gimmick. Thanks for watching. Take care. Hopefully you enjoyed this look at the Leader-1 GoBot model. And yeah, thanks for watching. Take it easy.